Hello, baby. I am lighting some Palo Santo so we can drop in here for today. Setting the vibe, relaxing. Today's session is going hand in hand with understanding our emotions. And so I always love to do these in the morning or the night, but whenever you're dropping in, I'm just happy that you're here, and I want you to just kind of take a moment, because there's a lot of people that avoid this work, this moment, this type of work of like making the space to tap into body, to meet different parts of self, to experience emotions. Like it's one of these things that so many humans just bulldoze their way through it, and you're here. And so I just want to take a moment and just like feel that in your heart of that celebration. And so today I want to just kind of break down what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to do a meditation. And the thing about meditation is sometimes our brain goes. Like, I have a monkey brain. And so I like to use meditation as a means of understanding my emotions. Instead of spiritually bypassing and getting out of body, I like to use these methods to get in body. And then we're just going to explore different emotions, and we're going to hold different emotions that we usually shy away from. So you are always invited to turn this off. If it's not your vibe, if you're feeling activated, if you feel things happening in your body that you're not ready to face, you are welcome to leave. I feel like we don't take that enough. Like, we are allowed to get up and turn things off if we don't like them. That's your invitation. But it's also your invitation that if something feels resistant, that is a check engine light. And so if that's now that you want to look at it or later, that's entirely up to you. But you have lifetime access to this. So whatever feels good, right? And so what I want you to do now is uncross your legs. Let your whole body be open. I want you to feel your butt on whatever chair it is on. Feeling it wiggle back and forth. I want you to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Feel your legs, whether they're laying on the couch, whether they're crossed. Hopefully they're not crossed. I just said uncrossed then. Whether your feet are planted on the ground or your legs are laying on the couch or the bed or the floor. Feeling your back relaxed, your shoulders relaxing. Breathing deep. Breathing out. I want to do that again, but I want to breathe in and hold your shoulders up. Hold it at the top. And then release. I want to do that again and hold it up. Then as you release, I want you to circle your arms back and just let out a big grunt. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Hold it at the top. Keep holding it. Keep holding it. Keep holding it. One last sip of air in. Roll your shoulders back and down and welcome. So like I said before, with meditation, I usually like to do it as a check-in, not a check-out. So I just want you to feel in your body right now, whether it's morning, middle of the day, nighttime, whatever you've experienced so far through your day. Where are you feeling it? Is it in your shoulders? Is it in your heart, your chest, your belly, your womb, your hips, your thighs, knees, feet, hands? Where are you feeling today? And if you could, do you feel like you were in your ventral, your sympathetic, or your dorsal? Again, neither is good nor bad. There is no judgment. The thing about landing in your body is the awareness that we can have so many things going on. And oftentimes when we're like, I can't meditate, I don't do this, I have a monkey brain, there's so much going on and it's getting away from us and we're stuck in this sympathetic, it usually just means we need to land. And so even in the chaotic moments, I want you to witness, what is one good thing? What is one good thing that has happened to you today, for you today, because of you today? What is one good thing? And the joys of witnessing this is that even though we can have a chaotic day, even though we can be in sadness, even though we can have these moments, there is a moment of good. And then what I also want you to do is bring awareness to your tush. Where is it right now? What does it feel like to sit on something, whatever you're sitting on, or laying on? What does that feel like? That's the moment we land here in this present moment. And so no matter what's been going on today, you are here. No matter what's going around you, within you, we're here. And so I want to practice something. And so the way that we actually heal trauma in the body is we don't necessarily have to remember a moment. I'm not really hung up on origin stories. I don't find it beneficial until we can practice this part of understanding trauma. But you can remember feelings. I introduced you to them when we were in dorsal phase. The feelings of anxiety, or I also said sympathetic. So in feelings of anxiety, feelings of shame, feelings of rejection, feelings of guilt, feelings of disappointment. And so one of the biggest wounds in females is we do everything in our lives to avoid disappointment. A very masculine guilt emotion is guilt and shame. And so we would rather be shamed because we didn't try hard. We'd rather shame ourselves and be like, oh, we just didn't try our hardest, than give it our all and it not work out and to be disappointed. And so the moment that I want to play with today, and our emotional honesty and all these kind of things, I want to play with rage, I want to play with disappointment. I want to play with rage, I want to play with disappointment. I want you to feel these, and I want to, at the end, I'm going to explain some practices to release. But at the moment, right now, I want to hold you in this space to show you how strong you freaking are to hold these. That no matter what to fall on your heart, you will always be okay. But in order to do that, you have to show yourself you can do this. You have to feel into the body these emotions. And so I want you to think of the feeling of disappointment. If that's a memory for you, or you can just instantly tap into that feeling. Again, I want to remind you, you can close this down if this is too activating for you. I want you to go to your ventral state if it's too activating for you. I want you to look out the window if it's too activating for you. But I want to remind you, you are safe in this container I'm holding you in. Okay? And so I want you to feel into that feeling of disappointment. As your body sinkens, the energy hollows, the weight comes, sadness, emptiness. If tears come, know that it's safe for them to be expressed. But I want you to just hold that feeling without trying to escape it, without trying to positive your way out of it. Nothing bad will come because you're feeling it. Nothing bad is being called into your life just because you're thinking it. You're healing. Yeah. You're safe. I know it's heavy. I know it hurts. Wasn't your fault. I know it can feel that way sometimes, but it never was. What are you feeling in this disappointment right now? What's coming up? Is there any visualizations coming up? It's okay that it is. It's okay that it isn't. But I want you to hold this feeling, to let your body process it. You might start to feel tension in different areas of your body. That's the trauma. The pain, sometimes we start to get tired. That's also okay. But I just want you to hold this. It will pass. It will pass. But I want you to hold this feeling. Know that I got you. Know that it wasn't your fault. I know it's heavy. I know it hurts. Make sure you breathe through this. It will pass. I got you. I got you. You are so strong. Breathe. And then as soon as you start to feel a wave of light, whether that comes now or in a few moments, you can pause this if you need to just sit in that. But as soon as a wave comes, I want you to roll your shoulders up. Breathe in and hold it at the top. And release. What I want you to do is I want you to start to, if you had to give that disappointment some type of space on your body, wherever you felt it, can you place your hand there? Can you feel that part of your body receive the energy from your hand right now? The warmth, the comfort, the type of touch that you've been needing. Can you hold your hand there? And then can you let your hand receive the pain, the anguish, the disappointment, whatever that feeling is from your body, to receive it? Can you give it this exchange between the two? And then as you're sitting there, can you feel your body start to flow, to move, to express whatever that feeling is? And it's okay if this is not coming naturally. If you just want to sit with your hand and that's all that there is, just let that be. But I want you to receive the touch that you need, the healing touch. And then if you're feeling called, letting your body move whichever way to get that emotion untrapped. And so you could wiggle, you could shake, you could vibrate, you could stand up and jump if you need. Sometimes I like to rock forward and stretch open and close down a little bit and forward and side to side, just letting your body guide you. It's not going to make sense. Don't try and make sense of it, but just letting your body move. Moving to the music, moving to the flow of what's happening in your body right now, moving to what needs to be released. Feeling it flow through. And then I want you to pause and take one deep breath in. Hold at the top. And release. And if that disappointment could say anything to you, what would it say? Let it come through. The more we revisit this part of self, the more we work on forgiving. The more it forgives us. We visit it often. We see it come to life. We see it be the block. And we come to this place, wherever it is in our body, of what do you need? And know that I got you. Okay? And so one deep breath in. Hold it at the top. And release. if you could tell that part of you that it is seen, it is held, and we'll revisit her often. But right now we need to go on a different journey. And see how she responds to that. And if she says no, that's okay. Pause this, spend more time getting to know this part of yourself, because the more we get to know this part of self, the more it no longer runs our show. So we get to face it. And so if she needs more movement, if she needs more releasing, if she needs more tears, that's totally fine. You can pause this, listen to the playlist, let it come through, and then come back. So I want to make a transition, and so whatever that is for you, however you want to make the transition, whether you want to open your eyes and look out the window, whether you want to shake it out, whether you want to take a deep breath, however you want to make this transition. This also helps in life when we didn't get transitions. We see this with parents that had, or kids that had divorce, or they had transitions in life where they didn't get an option. So whatever that is for you, when we're making transitions, it's just good to create an exchange. Like when I go through clients and when I switch clients, I wash my hands, I get up and I walk, I do something to make sure my body is transitioning to create safety. So whatever that is for you right now, whether you have to get up and pause this, whether you just want to take a deep breath and shake it out really quick, we're going to make this transition. Okay. And so another emotion that we are often neglected is rage. And I spoke about this in the emotional honesty module, because rage is a beautiful feminine thing. It's a gorgeous, it's this thing that one of my mentors explained, like we are volcanoes, but oftentimes we are dressed as mountains, disguising ourselves because we're afraid of our eruption, because now there's all these cute little towns around us, and so we have to be all nice and play all nice, and we're told to be good girls and all this stuff, and it just doesn't feel right, when really we are volcanoes that choose not to erupt, but we have this delicious fire inside of us. And so the more we start to get acquainted with this version of ourselves, this part of ourselves, the more we no longer are afraid of it. We know how to use it for a creative vortex, especially our sexual power, especially our embodiment, especially our magnetism. It's this spark inside that I want you to get really deeply acquainted with. And the reason I did disappointment first is because oftentimes when we get angry, we then are hit with disappointment. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. I said something I didn't mean. And that is when we aren't regulated yet. This is when our anger is placed at people, and that we haven't had a good relationship with it, because at the end of the day, no emotion on this planet is a bad emotion. They are just emotions. What we do with them can lead to a narrative around it being bad. Especially as women, we are taught to be very people-pleasing, and we are taught to be the good girls. No yelling, no kicking, no screaming. Where boys, they can go off and they can fight and punch in the face, and they're like boys being boys. And girls are not allowed that, but we have this rage. And so there's safe ways of expressing it. And so there are a few ways of us doing this, and I'm going to explain them to you. It may not land for you just yet. I know when I first did all these things, I thought it was ludicrous, and that is totally okay. The joy is just honoring wherever the heck you're at in your journey, and that's my biggest wish for you, is just like, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm comfortable with. Again, use your authority of where you're at. This is where I'm at, and that feels uncomfortable. Practicing boundaries with self, and practicing articulating, communicating your needs, your wants, your desires. But also, is this a growing edge for you? So I invite you to sit up and feel your body. Feel just how, like, if you can move your arms around, flex your shoulders forward and back, and shift them around, and move your body, and stretch a little bit. And then I want you to put both feet on the ground. Breathe in and out and feel and land here. So I want you to think of a time when you were really fucking angry. A time someone said something, a time a boyfriend did something, a time someone broke up with you, a time a kid did something, a time your husband did something, a time in your life when you were like, fuck this shit. And I want you to think how you probably didn't express it or how you expressed it at someone. Because oftentimes there's slow buildups of these until we finally explode, and that's what we get afraid of, right? Becoming more and more afraid of this emotion because we dull it down. And so I want you to get acquainted with this emotion because you are allowed to be pissed. This is your permission slip to be fucking angry. And what I like to do when I'm feeling these ways, I never mask it, but I do have healthy ways of practicing it. So the first one is if you could visualize that moment in your mind's eye. And if you have not heard of the mind's eye, it's like right between your eyebrows a little bit up where your third eye is, like your mind's eye. And you can think of it, you can imagine whatever that fucking event was. What did you want to do to that person, to that thing, to that event in that moment? What did you want to do? What did you want to fight back on? Can you do that? You are safe here to express all of it. It's just your mind's eye. It does not mean you're a bad person if you are beating up your husband. Like, you're not actually doing it. You're not doing it. But sometimes our mind just needs to release it so we don't build it. Like, you are allowed to express. Fuck being the good girl. Smash, hit, kick, scream a primal scream. Do what you need to do. It's in your mind's eye. If you feel your body moving, if you feel it shaking, if you feel things coming, it's good. Feel your heart rate raise. Do all the things that are happening. And just let it rip until it's past. Don't forget to keep breathing as that's going. Then I want to share another practice with you. So my favorite one, the one that got me through some of the hardest times, is we are only allowed to scream when we are giving birth or when someone dies. I find that absolutely fascinating. What I love to do. I love it. I go in my car. I go for a drive. I put on my old early 2000s screamo music and I let it fucking rip. I scream like no one's business. I also do this into pillows. I let it go. I let it just rip. Like, it feels so good. And you might feel ludicrous at first, but oh my goodness, the things you will do. There's a reason rage rooms exist. I also recommend those if you are a type of person that is not comfortable with this stuff. But screaming is such a good gateway drug to this. You can do that into a pillow, and you can do it in your car. Those are my two favorite places. I don't recommend doing it in public just because someone's going to think something's wrong and we don't need them to do that. So in your car, no one can freaking hear you. You're driving. It feels good. In a pillow, no one can hear you. It feels good. Letting these things happen. And then sometimes I will punch that pillow. I'll hit that pillow on the wall. I let it happen. Throwing a temper tantrum, just like, Mama Gina talks about it, swamping. You put on some music and you just like let your body throw a temper tantrum however you freaking desire. Throwing your body around, kicking, screaming, doing these things. And again, I know that's a reach for a lot of people, but oh my God, when you get there, it feels so good. It feels so good just to express like a kid. Why do you think kids get over their anger so quickly? They kick, they scream, they get it out, and then they're back to being playful. And so the thing about anger and rage is we get it out. No shame, nothing, just letting it move, letting it be expressed, all the body happening. And then what I want you to do right now is to feel that permission slip to be angry. What does that feel like in your body right now? I don't know about you, but I feel good. Like, yes, there's a part of me that's like, is that too much? But the other part of me is like, wow, I get to be free. Like, I get to go do these things. Oh my God. And I can visualize it in my mind's eye. And I already feel more open with you right now. I feel like I can receive that energy, that portal of just like, oh gosh, I've been needing that. The tension in the neck, like if you want to move it around to give it some air, some stretching. If you want to open your shoulders, open your back, put your arms behind your back and stretch a little bit. And so the thing about both of these works, any type of shadow work, any type of emotional work, is we want to get back into a turned on state. And so what you're going to go do right now is you're going to open up the Sacred Singlehood playlist and you're going to turn it on and you're going to get into a happy dance mode. Go have a dance party. One of the best gifts of life is watching yourself dance in the mirror. Honestly, it feels so good. But if that's not your vibe yet, can you just turn on some happy music? Whatever gets you bobbing and weaving to put you back into your good state of mood. Our moods are a choice. The thing that we do way too often is we deny ourselves the ability to express emotion. And so we just suppress it and we try and get into these good moods right away. But it's your choice now, right? Like we can stay in these sour moods after going through practices like this, or we get to go be turned on and become magnetic again whenever we're feeling in the dumps, because sometimes we just wake up that way. Sometimes something happens, sometimes whatever. But oftentimes we are allowing anger and sadness to interrupt our joy, and it interrupts our entire day. But yet we don't let joy interrupt our sadness and our anger and our disappointment. And so I want you to show yourself right now that yes, you are fully fucking allowed to feel all the emotions that you feel. And once they're expressed, you choose happiness. You choose anger. You choose disappointment. And then it's in your goddamn power to go choose love and joy and delight. For me, that's dancing. That has always been music. That has always been a vibe. I love to bounce around. I love to shake it out. I love to look at myself in the mirror and be like, fuck yes. Like, I am my biggest fan. I go and I celebrate and I high five myself. And that's one of the big things. It's like a lot of us don't celebrate the fact that we are in this, facing our emotions, becoming our biggest expression, because the more we show up and do this type of work, the more we are emotionally honest with self, those around us then get to benefit. Those around us are then open to their emotions. It's this domino effect. It's this modeling the behavior that eventually gets to be mirrored back, which is such a gift to this world. Imagine what our children will be like. They'll be emotionally honest. They'll be vulnerable. They'll have deep connections. Like, imagine that type of world. So what I want you to do right now, go click that playlist. I'll make sure to put it in the comments here. Go click that playlist. Go turn it on. If you can, go just shake and like let your body move in whatever way that is, even if it looks absolutely ridiculous. Who the fuck is watching? Like, let yourself do that. If you want to go have a dance party with your husband, your mates, your friends, your kids, like, go do it. If you want to go dance in your car, if you just want to sit here and put the music on and let it be, just like get yourself back into a turned on state. Look how powerful you are. You just went through your emotions without any resistance. Yes, sure, you felt the crunch, but here you are. You leaned in, you did it. You can hold hard things. You can do hard things. The more we start to practice this and the less we lean out, the more we heal. The more you find your way home. And when you find your way home, you get to actually start to remember who you have always been before the trauma, before the story, before the narrative. Your true self is this version, is that childlike expression of whoever the fuck you want to be that day. The rawness, we see this in children, how they just show up and that's them. What a gift it is to bring that to the world. And I'm so honored, so proud that you are here. And so I'm excited to see what comes up for you in this, what came up for you in this. Let me know. Email me, Instagram me, like DM me. I don't know why I said Instagram me, but send me an Instagram message. I love to hear how this part lands on it, because this is the part that changed my life. The more I started, it felt foreign at first. I'm not going to lie. It felt very fucking foreign at first, but I knew this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be a woman that was so fucking embodied and self-expressed. So I just kept revisiting, even though I felt fucking ridiculous. Like, until now, this is just me. Like, literally, my partner, like, I just scream in the car. Like, if he gets out, like, I'll just scream, and he's like, how often do you do that? Like, I scream into pillows. Like, getting things out of my body because I don't want to keep it. I don't want to get sick. I don't want it to go into my partner. I don't want it to go into my friends. I don't want it to go into my life. And if I keep it, I'm going to live from it. So take that with you. This may feel foreign, but I promise you it is a gift. It is an art. It is what makes you rare and unique in this world. And that's what we need more of. So let me know how this lands. I love you so freaking much, and happy healing.